Welcome to another edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe. And in the next half hour, you will learn everything you need to know in the week that was in Eastern Florida State College athletics. On the docket today, we will check in with the men's and women's basketball programs, which have each begun their preseasons and off to a successful start. And we will begin with the men's soccer program, now ranked number 2 and number 3, depending on which poll you look at. And that's a national ranking, folks. And back from Mississippi is Oliver 12-3's the head coach. And it was a very, very eventful week in Mississippi. You weren't shuffling through the Texas sand, but it was a nice long trip as you get 2 big wins.
Yeah, it was a good weekend for the boys. We came together a lot, and it was a good bit of team building experience. Going on a bus for 10 or so hours together, and everyone played well, and it was a good performances, 2 wins, so definitely happy.
The heads were in Mississippi is what I was getting at, the ZZ Top reference. So let's talk about the first one. It was Pearl River, a 4-0 win. You get 2 clean sheets, which is a nice change of pace. You started to kind of get things right defensively. You get your good back in goal now, but it's good for the psyche of the back line and the goalkeepers.
Certainly, Kakuta Jada has come in. He had a clean sheet against Broward, and he's had 2 clean sheets on the weekend, and I think he's really solidified his spot as the number 1, and we're excited about that. We brought him in from Georgia Perimeter to add that impact spot at the goalkeeper position, and he's definitely started to show his true talent.
7 goals, 7-0 win over Mississippi Gulf Coast, and that we talked last week that everything was going right in this game against ASA. It was a 1-1 tie. You'll get that rematch. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but you got some striking, actually goals being scored. We talked about maybe working on some of the finishing in training, and is that what happened? And then goals they come in bunches, don't they?
Definitely. We definitely talked to the boys about hitting the ball across the keeper, making sure we're making the goalkeeper work rather than going high and trying to go for power. Looked a lot, looking for precision. And we were certainly very precise. We were accurate with our score. We had lots of more shots on target. The game followed similar patterns to our other games with lots of chances created, but it was good to put the ball in the back of the net. And for players like Luke Ferreira, who hadn't scored a goal yet, although played very well throughout the season, it was very exciting for him to put the ball in the back of the net. And after he scored, he was a little emotional last year as well after he scored. A bit of a drama queen, but it was good to see him happy after scoring a goal.
You've been saying all along it was only going to be a matter of time for Luke, and now, as you know, with anybody who's an attacking player, once you get that first goal, they tend to come in bunches.
And he did. And he came back on Saturday in the second game and scored another goal, so that was good. And JJ again scored 3 goals over the weekend, so for him we need him putting the ball in the back of the net for our team to be successful.
One thing you and I have talked about, Yannick Kofi, one of the best players in the nation, not just on your team. He's had this habit of scoring it pretty much in every game, but really can't get 2 or 3 when he certainly has the opportunities. He has the shots that are getting close, just not finishing those opportunities. And now he had a multi-goal game as well.
He did, and he played well all weekend, but it definitely is his. He needs to improve his game to take the next level, to be that dominant player he can be, but not just be happy with scoring 1 and getting an assist. He needs to go out there and score 2-3 goals because he's got the talent.
Talk about the long trip and how is that beneficial? It is a long drive all the way across the southern United States to get over to on that Gulf Coast to play against teams in Mississippi, and there's a bonding that goes on, I'm sure.
Certainly, we were able to have a little quiz on the bus, put the boy in the teams and had a bit of a quiz night on the bus, and it was good to give out a few prizes for the lads, and it was good. It was definitely a good bonding experience and something that they needed, especially to get the camaraderie together, get some of those guys that haven't been having the minutes that they would have liked to come off the bench. And Ibra scored a goal, and Salvadin was able to come in at left back and play some good significant minutes, as well as Bertie Murch. So some of those lads who haven't had the opportunity of some of the other boys really came in and stepped up and played very well.
And it's important as far as building depth. You lose a player, unfortunately, Shari Shapiri, to an injury, and that's going to require somebody to fill the next man up type of thing. First of all, how is Shari doing? And second, how do you come back from a loss like that at your left back spot?
Sure, we yet to see what the doctor says. He's due to go to the doctor this week, and so we'll see what the doctor says. But he did hurt his knee, and so we're looking to either slide Wilfred back to the left back spot, which he's very familiar with, or Salvador might even play there at left back and have a look at maybe Micah Smoke might find himself back at centre back as well. We'll see.
Number 2, number 3 overall in the nation right now. Is that something you and the guys kind of pay attention to? Is it important to ascend to that number 1 at some point this season, or is it just, hey, keep the pace going?
It's a goal. It's a goal to be the best team we can possibly be, and we feel like we've missed 2 opportunities to be the number 1 team. You know, we failed to beat Monroe, and we were the better team, and missed a penalty to win that game, who were the number 1 team in the nation, and we failed to beat ASA again. Two ties on our record, which again we should have won that game. So we've had 2 opportunities to be the number 1 spot. Maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe we'll be number 1 right at the end of the season, which again is the most important.
When it counts. Talk a little bit about ASA. Just last week we were lamenting the fact that there was a missed opportunity. It was a game in which the Titans really bossed. I mean, there was a shot disparity of over 20 in that. Just couldn't find the back of the net. And now you know going forward, you were able to find the net, and now you get a chance to go back and get the rematch, albeit at their place. And I'm sure the guys are chomping at the bit to get to that one. Yeah,
looking back on it, I think it maybe was the kick that the boys did need in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, making sure they're 100% focused, so that those 2 drop points could help them in the long run. I think ASA need to look out for sure on Friday because we're gunning for them.
Well, and again, ASA, a new program. What did you learn in that first meeting about them, and one of the reasons that they gave you some trouble? What things do you need to remedy on that next meeting?
We have to be careful of the counterattack. They counterattacked well and with pace and with numbers, so we have to definitely be aware of that long ball over the top on the counterattack. And they work hard, fair play to them, well organized, well coached, and we have to be prepared to play, prepared for a battle.
And obviously a lot of eggs going into that basket, but then you've got some tough games coming up after that as well, and then talk about the road coming up.
We understand that it's really all about ASA and Broward. Those are the games that are really key to our progress and moving on, and it's certainly a goal to be able to win Florida and move on to the district and then the national tournament, and Broward and ASA are standing in our way.
It's all about winning the Region 8, making the states, then making the nationals. Oliver 12-3's a continued success. Good luck on the road in Miami against ASA this week.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. When we come back, we will go inside the Titan Fieldhouse, talk a little hoops with Jim Grimes, women's basketball head coach, and a special guest. That's coming up next on Inside Titan Sports.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
I've been a part of the Space Coast community for nearly 2 decades and interviewed everyone from John Glenn to James Brown. My name is J.D. Gallup, and I am Florida Today's criminal justice reporter. But for me, this is more than just a job. My passion is making sure you are informed about what's happening in your community, whether it's getting the latest information about a murder or updating you about traffic. I also believe that it takes more than just reporting on the problem, but also being a part of the solution. I'd love to hear from you. Send me your questions, your comments, or concerns. Just drop a line or an email, or you can send me a message by Facebook or Twitter, even if it's just to say hello.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe. Hey, shout out to the women's volleyball team coached by Andrea Rasmussen. They pick up their 7th win of the season, winning on television this past Friday against St. John's River. Straight sets win in an epic second set battle, in which they had to come from behind, being about 7-8 points down throughout that match. So congratulations to Andrew Rasmussen and the Titans volleyball team. We will stay inside the field house and turn our attention now to the women's basketball program. Preseason is underway. We have Jim Grimes and Crystal Townsend, the returning sophomore, straight out of Cape Coral, Florida. Welcome, guys, and you've had a nice long trip. How did the bus trip up to Tallahassee for a preseason jamboree go?
It was great. Those long trips are really beneficial for the team. It's a good time. It's a fun time to get to know each other better, so we always enjoy those.
Crystal, is that one of those bonding moments? I mean, you're a returner on this team, so you get to know some of the newcomers.
Yeah, it was good. It was well needed. See how we look, and we enjoyed it. We had fun.
How did you feel everybody looked? I mean, as you said, it's always a work in progress at this point in the season. You pick up a couple of victories and a loss as well, but really it's not about the results here at this point.
Right. It was really just a great weekend to really get to play against someone else, which we were all sort of excited to do. I thought we did really well overall. I left there feeling good. We learned some things, and I think it's a good foundation to see what we need to work on moving forward for sure.
Yeah, Crystal, practice just began on Thursday. Was that kind of unsettling to just get started getting thrown to a game immediately?
No, because I've been working since summer, so I was just kind of hoping it would go faster, and finally got some games, see how we actually look against others, and I was like, it's a work in progress. We're not done yet, but it was nice to see us on the court.
We talked a week ago just about what you had coming back, and Crystal's a big part of that. To tell me what she means to have a returner of her quality.
She's a real pleasure to coach. She's one of my favorite all-time players to coach. She's one of the hardest workers we have on our team. She really sets the pace in that department. She's so athletic, and she's just a junkyard dog. I was talking to a Division I coach today, and that's how he described her. He watched her yesterday, and she just gets all the done. She's a grinder, so every team needs a player like Crystal, and we're very fortunate to have her.
Yeah, it's worked out for you so far. What brought you to Eastern Florida to begin with?
Well, he was the first coach to offer me a full ride, so that was more got me here.
Yes.
And he just, he just kept up with me, so went here. I didn't regret it, so.
Yeah, no doubt. Pay it back, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does she have going for her, Crystal, as she going forward? Because she's a sophomore this year. Obviously, as you mentioned, the college coaches are interested. And what does she offer the next program when she goes?
Well, she has got a lot of the intangibles that every coach looks for. Some of the things you can't teach. Work ethic is something that every coach is looking for in every one of their kids. Kids that love the game, that will do the dirty work. And so any team that ends up with Crystal is going to be very, very fortunate to have her. I think she's going to be a steal with whoever signs her.
Crystal, we know what you bring. Talk about some of the teammates that some of the newcomers that may be surprising here this year. They'll play a big role for this team, do you think?
I think Kenya is a big role, Trudy, because they're aggressive. We need rebounders, and that's what they bring, and the energy. They bring energy when they're on the court. Emma Grimes with the three-pointers. She's another big input to the team. And that's, as of right now, that's about it.
You still have plenty of time to learn. I mean, it's so early in the process right now.
We're not used to each other yet. We used to have a while ago.
Yeah, but a benefit again to having such a great season coming into this one, and I'm sure you have a hungry bunch of returners too.
For sure. It was interesting yesterday seeing how we mesh. It's one thing to talk about how the freshmen and the sophomores are coming together, but yesterday it was really nice to see how some of those pieces fit in different lineups. So that's one of the great benefits of jamborees like yesterday.
Don't mean to scare everybody. The opener is going to be on Halloween, October 31st against ASA. What things do you guys need to complete to be ready for the official opener when that particular game counts on the win-loss record?
I would say hopefully our chemistry will be way better before ASA, which I feel it will be after Georgia. I feel like we're fine. I feel like when we come to ASA, I think we're going to just be hype, and it's our official first game, so I think we're going to be fine and ready to go.
Quietly confident, but you get right into the conference type of games right off the bat. No, I mean, I guess the warm-ups is your preseason, but I mean, is that a good thing to start with such a key opponent?
Yeah, we're very excited about Halloween, and I think Crystal is very quietly confident. That's kind of how she is on the court and off the court. She's a great leader, but she leads by example for sure. So we have a lot of work to do. We learned some things yesterday, like I said before, but I feel confident that we've got some time. This weekend will also be another important step for us to learn even more. But I think by the time we come around to Halloween, I think we'll be ready to go.
You in high school were Miss Basketball for Southwest Florida, but apparently you like tennis, and you list your non-athletic talent as cooking. What's your best dish?
Fried chicken.
What you list as your favorite food? Is there a secret? Is there a special blend of spices that we come to know from some certain chains that you have?
Special spices?
Secret?
I wouldn't say a secret. I buy my seasoning from Publix. I just season my chicken and fry them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've talked with Coach Grimes before. I think his meal of choice is the barbecue, right? The Southern style barbecue. Yeah. Can you convert him to the
barbecue?
From barbecue to chicken?
Jerk chicken.
I'm ready. I haven't tasted her chicken yet, but I'm waiting for the invite.
Well, of course, the little shake and bake, of course, on the court as well. And I know, again, you are really excited to get things going here.
Extra.
And what is, obviously the goal in all this is to make the national tournament. You got the state tournament before that in Ocala. We are a long way off until next spring.
Yeah.
What is the ceiling of this team?
We're not there yet, but we're getting there. And once we get there, I feel like we'll get to our goals, winning states, conference, of course, and hopefully nationals.
If there is one aspect of women's basketball that needs to be 100% and be very successful for this team to accomplish its goals, what will that be?
Well, we rely a lot on our shooting, and it's just like with our players. We want our players to come into our program, and whatever they're good at, we want them to be great at. And whatever they're not so good at, we want them to get good at. So we have a reputation of being great at shooting. So shooting's definitely one, but for us, I think coming out of this weekend, I think we really need to be great rebounders. And, Crystal was our second leading rebounder last season, and then, of course, we lost our top rebounder, Rochelle Pont, and she's at USC Aiken now. So we recruited people like Trudy and Kenya to come in and help her. So that's going to be really key for us to not give up offensive boards and really control the glass.
Well, Jim, thank you very much. Crystal Townsend, pleasure to meet
you.
you. Good luck this season and enjoy the rest of the preseason. I know a lot of work goes in these next couple of weeks before that big Halloween opener against ASA Miami. Well, we'll keep it inside the Titan Fieldhouse when we come back. We'll talk with Jeremy Schulman and one of his newcomers when we come back on Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hi, I'm Florida Today environment reporter Jim Waymer. For the past 15 years, I've covered the Indian River Lagoon and all the other natural resources that make the Space Coast such a unique place. As a Brevard County resident myself, it's been my mission to deliver the news comprehensively and impartially about the environmental changes that affect all of us. So feel free to drop me an email, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and let me know what you'd like to read more about.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe, and we will continue to talk hoops as the preseason is underway for the men's basketball program. And with us, the head coach, Jeremy Schulman, head coach of the Titans, and the newcomer from the University of Akron, a transfer, a sophomore, and it's BJ Gladden, and native of Charlotte. And welcome to Eastern Florida State College.
Thanks for having me.
So you go on the road, you have a couple of days of practice, you head up to Tallahassee, play in a jamboree, and you got a lot accomplished, we hear.
Got a lot accomplished. It's very early, obviously, in the season or preseason to have a jamboree, to officially start practice just a few days before and go up and play actual live basketball games. But it's great for the guys to be able to play against somebody else. We've been beating each other up for 6 weeks of school so far and just playing against each other and knocking each other's heads off. So it's good to go against somebody else and, so what we could do against, different competition.
BJ, what was the trip like? Obviously, you get a chance to bond with your teammates on the 4-hour or whatever drive it is up, but also get to play some games. What was that like as far as bonding off the court and on the court?
The trip was fine. Definitely when you take those trips, as a team, those things are good because it builds chemistry. And it was also good to be able to play against other people as well. Like Coach said, we've been playing against each other for the past 6 weeks, so it was fine. It was, to play against somebody else. So.
And a lot on the line once the season starts. We got this long-running home unbeaten streak, and you got a hungry group of returners. But then you add somebody of BJ's caliber. Talk about what he brings.
He brings a lot to the table. First and foremost, he brings experience. He's won a state championship in high school. He's played at the Division I level for an outstanding program at University of Akron. He's older, he's more mature, and he's been through it. He's been through tough coaching before at both the high school and the college level, and so he's, from the day he stepped on campus, he's been a good mentor for a lot of our younger guys because we do have so many younger guys out there. So a lot of experience from him.
Yeah, 6'6" forward. Yeah, you were won a state championship, a 30-0 season in 2013, Class 4A in North Carolina. You know how to win, and you're coming to a program that's very similar that does not lose very often.
Yes, sir.
What brought you here to Eastern Florida? Why come here to play for Coach Schulman?
Coach Schulman's a great guy. Honestly, one of my teammates at Akron transferred me here. Honestly, he basically told me what it's about here, told me about Eastern Florida and everything. And after that, I knew these guys won here, so that pretty much brought me here. And the style of play at Akron didn't fit me personally, so I also had to make a change in that as well.
It's got to be nice for you to have the people that leave the program really sell the program going forward. This is what happens when you win. You have good experiences as people leave and move on, which at this level, when you play 2 years, you got to go somewhere, and it's certainly beneficial.
Absolutely. Your best recruiters are your former players and your current players. Always are, because those are the guys that have been there on a daily basis. I mean, coaches will say, you know, all across the country, coaches will say what they want to recruits, but to have a player that's been in the program or is currently in the program, they're going to tell you how it is. You know, if they feel strongly about it and feel that's where a player should be, it's going to be well known. If they're not having a good time, or they don't feel it's the right spot, or they don't like how things are actually going behind the scenes, they'll let that be known also. So thank goodness we've got former players and current players that, you know, love our program, love the family we've got here.
BJ, what kind of team can this be this coming season? Obviously, you guys going to have the bullseye as this program already does. What have you learned in this short time with the team already about what the sky and what the limit is for this team?
I've learned that we can really be a special team. You know, right now we got a lot of freshmen. We're young, you know, and we do have a bullseye on our back. But I think we can be special come March. I think we will be cutting down the nets as we keep progressing. You know.
Confidence. I think Jack Pallant said confidence is very sexy, don't you think? And it's good to have a very confident team, and you've got some newcomers as well, not just BJ, but some of the freshmen that are coming in. They're going to play key roles.
Absolutely. Kareem Bruton, who's a 6'3" guard out of Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, was fantastic in the Jamboree. I mean, he's a special player. He's my type of guy. I mean, he's tough, you know, high motor, a very unselfish person, so I mean, he's been fantastic. Juwan Duran's a 6'7" forward from Dominican Republic and played high school ball in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Had signed with Middle Tennessee out of high school and didn't qualify, and we're fortunate enough to have him. And Juwan also played fantastic this past weekend. And there's countless others also, but those are two names that from the Jamboree really stepped up and played great.
Yeah. Your favorite movie is The Lion King. How can the Titans be the kings of the conference and make it to the States and maybe even the national tournament this year?
Just keep working, you know. Over the season, there's going to be a lot of bumpy roads, you know, a lot of adversity hit, but we just got to stick the ground, stay even, and I think we will be doing fine by the end.
That state tournament well off in the distance in March, and you do have the opener the day before Halloween, a nice little tournament that's going to be hosted here, and I bet you can't wait to get.
Oh, can't wait. Is it time yet? I'm ready to go to campus and set up for the gym. Yeah, we're hosting our Eastern Florida Halloween Classic on October 30th and 31st. Just beyond excited to get started. You know, it was nice getting out there to Jamboree and getting our first taste of, you know, real game action, and now we'll go back to work for a few weeks and got a couple of big-time exhibition games that we'll play, and then October 30th we tip it off for real. So in some ways can't wait till, you know, I wish it would start tomorrow. In other ways, we've got a lot of work left to do, so we need some practice time before then also.
BJ, what if some of your teammates that are returning told you about the Southern Conference and the quality of teams you're going to play, the Miami-Dades and the Palm Beaches, the Indian Rivers, the Browards? It's not an easy schedule.
It's not. I've talked with Georgie a little bit since he played last year, and he told me it's going to be tough. You know, the conference is tough. Every night you got to play. You got to bring it, you know. But I think we'll be ready for it, honestly. I think we'll be ready to play when it comes. So. And,
again, there's a lot to be accomplished in the preseason. If there's one thing you really want to impress upon these guys between now and that opener coming up on the 30th of October, what's got to be?
Just get one.
Okay, you can rattle them off. We got 2 minutes.
Consistency. That's the biggest thing. I think it was the biggest thing these guys heard a lot from this weekend. Consistency in everything we do. Consistency with our mentality. Consistency with our toughness. Consistency whether we're playing great and making shots, consistently whether other teams making shots and we're not playing so great. Just playing the same way with the things that you can control and not letting other factors affect us. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously team success leads to individual success. I mean, there's a big chance for you moving on, and what do you need to do, you know, personally, you know, on the court to make things good for you to get back that Division I level after this?
I think honestly, I need to just be a leader, show that I can be the leader role. Because next year, going into my Division I school, I'll be a junior. I have 2 years left, so I have to be able to show that I can lead the younger guys and be ready to play when I step foot on the next level.
Yeah. Well, you've got a bunch of a really tough roster to manage because you've got so many good players. Is that the hardest part of the whole thing when you have all this talent and to divvy up the minutes and keep, number one, everybody happy, but everybody on the right same page?
Definitely very difficult, but the toughest thing, honestly, is just the youth, all the newcomers. Georgie is the only player that returns playing over 10 minutes a game. Xavier is the only other player that really played more than 3 minutes a game. And, so there's a lot of newcomers. Now, talented guys, great freshman class, great transfer class. I mean, the most fun I've had coaching any team that I've ever coached before so far. But it's a lot to learn because a lot of newcomers having to learn the system, learn this level, and, learn what it takes to win championships.
Jeremy Schulman, BJ Gladden, thanks a lot for joining us. Best of luck throughout the preseason. We look forward to that opener on the 30th.
Thanks.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have on this edition of Inside Titans Sports. Don't forget to get the inside dish on everything about the Eastern Florida State College Athletic Program. Check the school's website at easternflorida.edu/athletics, or better yet, join us each and every week, every Thursday on WEFS TV. So for all of my guests, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long, see you next time, and go Titans.